It's kind of in the way of the chat. Let's see if we can't tip it down a little bit. Sometimes it's just too high. All right. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too good either, though. Let's just be honest. See if we can't tilt that forward just a little bit more. And that's just going to have to be how it is. All right, there we go. Okay. All right, we're going to continue with these guys. Looking pretty good. It's Jim. It's David. No, that's Jenny and Bill. Let's see what we got here. Oh, man, I don't have the pro hearers. I think they're inside. Oh, well, I'm just going to have to wear the cheap ear protection tonight. I wonder if I got any earplugs handy even. Well, I don't know. I'm looking. I'd rather put earplugs in, actually, with the city on. If I can find them. I don't know that I had them out here. So anyway, it just is what it is. That's what happens when you're not fully prepared with a checklist and highly qualified and trained individual. When you're just a half hack, barely can get by and stuff, like me, you just do what you can do. What do you guys think? It's a nice new swimwear. Okay. All right. Let's show that off here in a little bit too. Let's see. All right, who we got? Ray and Sandy, Michael S. Superfan, Happy Car Mudgeon, Matthew. What do you know, June? What do you know, Deland, Heidi Shoop? What's up? Glad to see y'all. All right, I'm gonna fire up the saw. We're gonna keep going on these guys, and I'll go with old Smoky first. I did some adjustments on it today. I don't know if that's gonna matter, but we'll see a little bit at a time. Get it running first. There, she's cranking. Okay, before I run that, so the next plan of attack is I got to bring an arm out here. And normally I would bring these arms along the edge, but I think with at least this one, the girl, I'm going to bring the arm in a little bit and then have a foot kicking up here too. So we'll see how it goes. But anyway, we're going to get digging at it. I mean, it looks pretty cool already, I think, just their heads popping out of there. All right, let's see what we can get. About this as I go. If I do it like this, I can put a foot over here. He's got a foot kicked up right there. I think that'd be pretty cool. Anyway, we'll find out. This is going to be his foot sticking up. Her arm's right here, and I actually got an arm started kind of like coming across this chest. I don't know if I'm going to keep that or not, but we'll see. But anyway, I'm digging his foot down. I just think it looks pretty cool. Appreciate it if y'all hit that like button as fast as y'all can. Appreciate you being here. Hold on. I got a story coming in here. Hey, this just in, news flash. Oh, yeah, New York City elects communist mayor. What do you mean? Well, I thought that was normal in New York City. I don't know. I got the toes dug out on that side. It's kind of hard to see from there, though. Kind of strangely enough, yeah. There we go. It is what it is. You can kind of see him. Already got him cut out. It's not bad. It's not good. It's just kind of in the middle. But anyway, hope everybody's having a good day. Be sure to hit the like button. We're going to have a good time finishing this dude up. Digging these little bear heads out. See what we got. I don't know. I probably need to turn that around. So if I want to bring some feet up from this girl. Maybe give her a foot over here or foot there. I don't know. I mean, I guess I probably ought to dig her arms out first and be real careful not to get too carried away and cut his arms off. Dig his arm out. Well, it sure be nice to get that lifted up where you can kind of see it just a little better. I'm gonna try that. Let's see, does that help? Yeah, that helps a little bit. I got it pretty high too. I wanted to make it easy for me to work on it. Actually, I might have got it a little too high. I don't know, but we'll see. think I'm gonna give her a foot sticking up because it'd be right here by his paw, and I think I'd just rather have that one foot sticking out, and see what we get. Took this arm out, not too bad. Pull this piece across here. It's starting to come to life, you know. He's got a foot here. She's got an arm here. I don't know about this arm down here. What if I'm going to do anything with that or not? I kind of don't think so. I don't know. But I know I like it. So, I mean, it's a little different. It's having these arms stay inside the tub, I think that's pretty cool. I kind of like it anyway. I mean, not everybody's going to, but it is what it is. What do we got? We got Billy Shoot Bait, mainly off-grid plywood. What's going on, buddy? Glad to see you. Woodchucker, hello, man. All right, well, anyhow, that's what we got so far. This is going to be the front. I got a debate here whether I want to give this one like I just did the one that Michael S. has, where I had the arm going around. And I kind of like that idea. Put the arm, this one have its arm around this one. I can spin it around though. And that way you guys see what I'm talking about while I do it. Okay, I mean, it's not quite as a hot head. I don't want that to fall over. But there's the backside. And let's give this guy, you know, just kind of like his arm comes down around her. You know, that's kind of the plan. the knot. Just kind of a hole. I'm just going to have to work with it. It just is what it is. That's what the piece gave me. You can see what's going on, and at that point I need to make my ring so I know exactly where the tub ends. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll spin him back around. That in there, we had to have her back in, you know, make her petite little mama. She's wearing a two-piece. That's what he wants. He wants her to wear a two-piece. That's what she's got on. Heck yeah. Okay, let's dig him out. Dig this piece out here. Separate him from the, and you know, it's the back of the carving. Nobody may ever look at it, but at least hair technique. I call that writing in cursive, and AKA I'm a dummy. That's what I call it. And it seems to work. Seems to work okay. I got a line right here. It's kind of like unnatural. You see that? So I got to kind of work that out of the neck. And I'll do that before I spin him around. Stuff like that by foaming it, you know, or whatever. But I just, you know, just trying to, you know, make it cute, whatever. All right, spin that baby. Turn it back around. He's got a foot up. She's got an arm up. He's got his arm around her. They're having a good time. Hopefully they ain't getting frisky. It's awful small in there. But that said, they can do whatever they want, right? Okay, they're bears after all. You got to keep that in mind. I'll step back, taking a look and seeing, okay, I can start working the hair in here. But I'm going to leave it with this one. She's only going to have the one arm. The other arm's going to be in the water. Who knows what she's doing with it? We're not going to try to suggest it. That said, we'll get the cutting on it. Y'all hit the like button. Carried away with giving them claws because it'll end up under the foam anyway. And every time you try to work something like that's what ends up happening. It ends up being where nobody can even see it, you know, so it don't really matter. But that said, I'm gonna work on his arm now. I really think that's it for the bears themselves. Oh, the foot needs some hair. Let's get that figured out. Foot helps keep the funguses out of his toes, you know what I mean? Okay, so let's do the band in the barrel. Might as well start doing that now. That's pretty much where we're at with this piece anyway. So on the band, usually I like to flip it over and kind of like do a section at the side, but I'm not doing it with this one. It's just too daggone heavy. So I'm just gonna guesswork a belt in, and it's just gonna be what it is. pressure for fuel, and I knew it. I just tried to get as much out of it as I could. Anyway, we had another one ready. We're ready to go. Making a nice picture. You know, you got two bears. They're on their honeymoon. You know, and they're like, well, where does the bear honeymoon? In Gatlinburg. Come on. Of course. That's where they would go. Duh. Man. Teach them everything. And feed them and teach them everything. I'm telling you. Okay, here. Try this. 16 just to try to get up under there a little better. And let me tell you, it was all I could do to get that extra piece in there. I'm gonna back this up. Looks like it's halfway ready to fall, but I can't pick this up. It's too heavy. use of artificial intelligence to do something for you, this would be a good one here, because it's just back breaking down on the ground work, just cutting them pieces out a little bit at a time. And I never wanted to have any kind of AI of any sort, but if there was ever a good reason to have it, it'd be to do this job right here. It's kind of just redundant, but it is what it is. You know, toughen up, suck it up, get to work. Oh, what the heck? Well, I got awful tight. Loosen that up a little bit. It's just the way it goes. I don't take care of my stuff, then I need it, and it don't want to work right. And then I blame me. I don't try to blame anybody else, you know. But then that plunge cutting is pretty hard on them. Pretty hard on them, too. And there might not be oil on, but it's kind of odd to have one tighten like that. And it's tight, though. I'll tell you what, maybe it's going to lock up. I've had this saw forever and ever. I mean, it's been around a long time. Okay, let's see if that loosened it up enough. Still seems awful tight. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's flowing now. It did. It tightened up. I guess it's from all that plunge cutting, you know, which I'll tell you what, that's a micro picro, and typically you wouldn't plunge cut. You wouldn't do it with a 50 gauge, but you can do it with this. I mean, it'll get away with it. You've seen it. I'm doing it every time. I'm not getting any kickback at all. start cutting the barrel lines in so you can see the little slat boards. And I don't know, it's kind of cute. You know, I don't know. I don't think it'd be too popular in, you know, the inner city maybe necessarily. You just never know who gets a hand on it. Let's see if we got in here real quick before we go on. Yeah, the image of that's pretty good. Heck yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. Takes a long time. You got it right, Checker. It takes a long time. Heck yeah. Hey, we got 16 rubies. That's cool. All right. So I'm going to start putting my boards in. And that's when it really kind of comes obvious what it is. It's a lot more obvious what you're looking at. You know, I mean, two bearers in a barrel, having a good time. I'm gonna go ahead and give them relief cuts. They're gonna crack. They're gonna crack somewhere, but we might as well do what we can to careful. I think I'm gonna put one right here, and because there'll be foam running all down that anyway in different places. So let me double check. As far as chainsaw work goes, do I see anything? I know I got to do eyes, nose, and stuff like that with power tools, but I think it looks pretty good. By the time you foam it, you put all that foam in through here, poof it up in between them, a little bit around here. The arms are in, which is something I've never done before. I usually always put them on the edge. This is a little different. His foot's under her arm, and his arm's back in just a little bit. I think it's cute. So let's get an eye tool out. And that one's too small. Let's start with that. Let's start with the stuff that brings the bears alive. Give them some eyeballs. Make them look happy. Nothing better than a happy bear, right? He don't kill you that way. Yeah, that'll work. Big old eyes. I got big eyes. Take the headphones off. I don't need them no more. For the moment, I do got one other thing I need to do. So I have a bunch of stuff out here ready to go, except I have one welcome bear that does not have a welcome sign, and I got to make a welcome sign. And I don't know if I'm going to get to that tonight or not, but I mean, I'd rather bring this thing to life, get it as cute as it can be. That said, it don't really matter. I can't do nothing with this for a week, at least a week. Actually, probably 2 weeks before I could go any further. It's pretty wet. This is that same piece that we made Michael's piece out of, and it's pretty wet. So, you know, I had about a week and a half to dry, and we'll probably give this the same. But I don't have anything going on to where I need to saw it that fast anyway. We got a show this weekend, but obviously it wouldn't be done by then. Let's bring them to life. Eyes. And my manpaw eye cutters, man, they get the job done. And they make lots of smoke. So that's kind of neat, you know. They can see the eyes. Say hello. I'm alive. I can see you now, right? Yeah. Crazy bear. How about her? You know she's the one that's nuts. Anyway, we're going to end up making her a bow, too. I'll flex shaft carve that. Maybe Saturday evening. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind yet. I'm thinking I'm going to do... I don't know. I've been speculating about this for days now. I can't make up my mind. So why try to make up my mind now? I don't know. How about that? I know enough to know that I don't know. Y'all will see me sometime. How about that? But we don't want to see you. You're kind of annoying. Yeah, that's true. How about this here? Does this sound good? No, I didn't think so, right? What are we up to? 80 likes? We ain't going to get to 100, I don't think. Anonymous. I don't burn pine. I burn it. I burn it dry. You got to let it dry for about 2 years. Actually, a year in my garage stove is fine. It's a straight shot. 2 years in my house. I burn pine. I don't think twice about it. And a lot of people say they don't. But you got to clean your stuff. As long as you're cleaning your pipes, I don't know what the big deal is. Yeah, it's sappy, but if it burns hot, it don't matter.
you guys think? Should we give her a nose ring? I don't think so. So, the only reason I speculated about the nose ring was because when she got in here, I seen she had a belly button ring. I didn't know. I mean, I didn't raise her, so I don't have to answer. Or I don't, whatever. She can do what she wants. I suppose she's a grown bear. Okay, all right. So it'll have to dry after that. But I'll put the fire to it, kind of burn some of these fuzzies off. I'm gonna sweep the dust off of it just a little bit though before I do. It's kind of a waste. It's kind of a waste of gas to burn so much sawdust. Sweep a little bit off. There you go. Got the wife a new car. All right, yeah, that's right. Man, I don't bet that guy just kicked out of bed a lot. No, she's used to stupid stuff I say. Sometimes she can't believe the stupid stuff I say. I wanted my title for my live today. Well, maybe she's right and I shouldn't say. I don't know. I think that dude's gonna have to dry from there on. Not a whole lot else we can do with him. Hey, she's smoking. I bet that's what he said when he met her. Man, she's smoking. You think so? I don't know. All right, let's see. How long we been on here? Let's see. Let me switch this around. Almost an hour. Okay. Here's what we got there. A little close-up look of him. And let's see. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, look too bad. Yeah. Kind of looking at a little slant nose to him. Just cute. You know, she's that kind of, by the time I got sand her nose down a little bit, you can see it's a little off, but the same shape, made them the same shape, you know, and he's got his foot sticking out over her, got the other one in the water. She's probably complaining about how it stinks, and he's saying, well, wash it with the soap, I'm sure. And then you got his little arm coming around here on her back, you know, and we'll have foam covering up these creases anyway, probably, so I didn't get too worried about them. But I think it's cute. Not too bad, not too good. Somewhere in the middle. Something like that. Billy said he's eating popcorn. Heck yeah. Not too bad, not too good. Somewhere in the middle. Michael, that's right. You got it. Heck yeah. Okay, so you guys want to see what I got ready? Or semi-ready? I got a lot of stuff to clear coat. But we got up here. That was never for this show coming up. But that was, I got these 4 little pieces over here that need finished. I don't even know that I'm going to get to mess with them. And I might scale that, dude. I'm going to scale it with the burr. But that's all that thing needs. And it can be painted. But let's go inside the garage here. And I'll show you guys the... hold on. Let me grab this bottle. Okay. All right. I deserve a little bit, right? Heck, you know, after all that hard work we put in. Well, let's get here and look at what we got. So, nothing in... Yeah, we got a couple more. I was getting ready to say we don't have them foamed. Well, we do. There's a couple of them that's foamed, little ones that's up there. And this stuff here is all done, ready to go. Light's not too good in there. Yeah, first hedgehog. I seen Lena carving in Russia. She does a lot of them, and that's what made me think, I want to try that. Okay, anyway, this guy here, he's clear coated. He just needs foam. I'll run out of it, but I love his color. He's walnut. He looks like a chocolate cow. And by the time we put that foam in, he's going to look like a chocolate cow taking a bath. I mean, he's going to look pretty good. Anyway, here's some stuff we got that's ready for clear coat. Man, the camera makes them look great, I think. I don't know. Take my glasses off. Maybe I'm just wrong. Look at this guy. I love this guy. You know, he's like, take me home. Take me home. You know what I mean? And then this one here too. It's another piece. This was walnut. That I took the walnut top and put it on a piece of pine bottom to make him a walnut barrel bearer, because that's the pieces I had. I just had enough to make that cow. And then I kind of like this guy. His face is a little funky, but he's cool. You know, not too bad, not too good. He's kind of looking around, you know, wondering what's going on. And then this guy. And there's Mr. Pig. First Mr. Pig we did. He needs a little bit more eye work, clean him up. But he looked pretty good. I'm pretty happy with him. And this was a little dog we was working on. You know, it's a little welcome husky, you know. And he's got a tail around outside, you know. But, yeah, everybody's got to have a heart bearer, right? That's the way it is. And we got a peanut gallery up there. You know, a couple cardinals. But here's some eagles. This is probably the best one of this group. Realistically, he looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with him. But here's another one. And you guys watch me make all this stuff, you know. Another one sitting in there. Look how quick this table got junked up. That's life. When you're trying to put all this stuff together, you just don't have time to clean it. That's kind of the way it goes. But that said, I think I'm going to go out here and work on this fish. I wouldn't blame y'all if you didn't stick around. I'm sure there's something a lot more interesting than me. But I got to start working on these scales. And I'm actually going to set that bass up on this carving and see if I can make that work. It just depends on how hard I got to push to make them scales in. Let me turn this around. Oh, no, that's not right. There we go. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. Grab glasses. Get this out of line. It's early. At least it's early for me to quit, you know, under the circumstances. and I might actually get this thing done. You never know. It's like a last resort and a half for Friday, but it's got to be sanded and scaled. And I'll go ahead and sand. I'm gonna sand it now. Might as well sand it and scale it. At least sand it. See how I feel. You know, if ain't a lot of people watching, I might set it off. But and I wouldn't blame them. It's kind of, this is a redundant stuff, you know. But this all goes with it. I mean, chainsaw carving ain't all just flopping the chainsaw around. You know, swinging it to the left, swing it to the right, swing it every day, swing it all night. You got to do some sanding and some gouging and some scratching and some scrubbing and some painting and all this other crap that goes with it. And it's boring, so I don't typically show that stuff, you know, if that makes any sense. But I don't know. That might be a little eye-catching. We'll see. Hey, so, look, everybody stops in and says, what's that guy doing? Slaying that bass? He's telling me that's a new technique they come up with the B scale. That just gave me an idea. Back in the day, when we had place up on Lake Erie, we used to catch this perch. You know, you catch a bunch of perch and they got little scales on them, but the skin tastes so good that you wanted the skin on there, and it added an oil to it. Well, anyhow, you'd there was people up there that had a potato peeler, and sometimes we'd use that potato peeler. But if not, you had to do it by hand. I wonder if you could use a 40 grit flat disc and scale a perch. I don't know. Or bluegill, even or crappie. Well, let's get enough to scale. I mean, I'm really not going to sand any more than that when it comes right down to it. So I'll see about scaling, figure out what size piece. And I always use this I always use this stone in a Dremel, and it was really slow. It was not fast. I mean, it was really fast, but it didn't look very good. It wasn't connected. You know, I mean, it's just me going through punching them with that stone, and it wasn't nothing fancy at all. These using these eye cutters, man, you really get the scales looking good, but it takes a while. It's not fast, and I don't think I'm going to finish it. The more and more I think about it, I don't know that I want to mess with this tonight. I'm going to go big. I can tell you that. I'm going to go bigger. Or let's see, is this too big? I think that's what I used on that crappie. Yeah, you know what? In the interest of it not taking 1,000 years, I'll probably go with that size. You know, it is what it is. And no matter what, it's going to take a while, even using these. But this is the size I used when I did that crappie, and it's pretty big. I'll do a little bit of it just so you get an idea. Can't hurt, right? Let's see what we got. 69, because 70's not enough, right? Okay, let's see. All right. I'll do a few of them. Anyway, right along this lateral line. Well, I'm still trying to figure it out, like what the good distance is. Okay, I'm gonna step back. Starting to figure it out, but that said, I won't be able to say I've done it enough to be an expert about it. Will I? Now I'll tell you, that's gonna look good when it's painted. But then the heck of it is, after all that work, I'll go back across it and I'll put those lines that a bass has in the color. I carve them in, and they're not actually carved in; they're part of the pigment. It's a camouflage, but I carve them in. So I'll cut some of this off anyway. It doesn't make any sense, does it? That's all right. Ask my wife. She'll say I don't either. She said. too bad. Bunch of half moons. You know, but what I know is I'm not gonna put no more time into that tonight. I'll show you a little more close up. And you could link them together perfectly as scales. I'm not gonna do that, and they probably should be about half that size. But that would take 1,000 years, and I just don't have it. You know, we'll be dead by the time I get it done. Hey, Susie Q, John, what's going on? Glad to see you guys. Anyway, that's what we got, guys. That's what I'm gonna do for tonight. Been 74 minutes on here, so we will catch you guys. I ain't made up my mind yet. But what I can tell you is you'll be able to catch Creation Dust 777 at 2 p.m. tomorrow. Be sure and check them out. Check him out. Be sure and be there to support Josh and Casey tomorrow. That's what I got. Hey, Heidi, I appreciate that. See you later. Appreciate it, Michael. But anyway, that's what we got, guys. Hi, Luke Scott Nelson. We'll catch you, man. All right, y'all have a good night, and I'll let you know. Come back when you can stay.